He laughed first, a low, greasy chuckle that rolled across the courtroom table like it owned the place. My wife's boyfriend, her lawyer, leaned back in his chair, shoes polished, ego brighter than the overhead lights. "The judge is my friend," he said, smiling as if he were delivering a punchline. "You're leaving this room with nothing, soldier." My wife smirked beside him, arms crossed, chin high. "He's too scared to even speak," she said, nudging the stack of papers toward me. "Look at him." He slid the final sheet across the table. "Sign it. Now." They thought silence meant fear. They thought stillness meant defeat. They had no idea who I really was. And they had no idea what I had already done. But they would. Soon. I used to believe she was the kind of woman you slow down life for. Soft laugh, sharp eyes, ambition tucked behind charm. I met her at a benefit gala. She spilled champagne on my dress shoes and apologized like she meant it. Back then, she saw the uniform and smiled with pride, not calculation. Back then, I mistook admiration for love. We married quickly, too quickly. But deployments have a way of making you cling to the first hand that holds yours without shaking. For a while, she was my anchor. At least, that's what I thought. It started with small things. Her phone always face down. Her laugh, once mine, echoing from the downstairs hallway late at night. New dresses she said she borrowed but never returned. Patterns. People show themselves in patterns. Then came the message. I wasn't supposed to see it. A reflection on the microwave door, her angled phone glowing just enough for me to read a name. Evan. A lawyer. The same lawyer now sitting across from me. I didn't react, didn't yell, didn't ask questions. My heart tightened, but my face never changed. In silence, I learned everything. Hotel receipts, call logs, a second phone she hid behind a stack of winter scarves. 3 months she lied to my face. 3 months she rehearsed her betrayal beside mine. But I didn't break. I observed. People expect soldiers to be blunt instruments. They forget we are trained to think, to predict, to plan 10 steps ahead. So while she slept beside me at night, dreaming of her future with him, I drafted my own operation. I documented everything, recorded what needed recording, made copies of what she thought she'd deleted. And while she whispered to Evan about taking me for everything, I met with someone too. Someone she didn't know I still kept contact with. Captain Ramirez, retired JAG officer. I didn't need to win the divorce. I needed to dismantle their confidence, piece by piece. The first strike wasn't loud. A quiet motion filed at 3 a.m., a request for a forensic audit of joint finances due to suspected marital fraud. A second motion, petition for protection of military benefits, citing coercion and intimidation attempts. Both were approved before my wife was even awake. Then came the subpoena, sent not to Evan, but to the firm's senior partner. Because the messages I collected between Evan and my wife, they weren't just immoral. They suggested collusion, manipulation, and possible malpractice. I didn't need to ruin their love story. I needed to ruin his career. And by the time we stepped into that courtroom, the fuse had already been lit. Evan tapped the paper again. "Sign it," he repeated, voice sharper, "before the judge comes in." I finally looked up at him, not with anger, with pity. "You really should have checked your email this morning," I said quietly. He frowned. My wife blinked. Perfect. The courtroom door opened, not for the judge, but for 3 people Evan hadn't expected. The senior partner of his firm, a court clerk holding a thick envelope, and Ramirez, carrying a small stack of printed exhibits. Evan's face drained fast. The senior partner spoke first. "Evan, step away from the table." My wife's smirk collapsed. "What's going on?" Ramirez placed the documents in front of me. "Everything is approved," he said. "Full forensic review, emergency financial protections, and the inquiry." Evan swallowed. "Inquiry?" His partner answered. "About your unethical involvement with the opposing party. We received the messages. All of them." My wife jerked her head toward him. "You said, Evan, you said no one would ever." But he was already sinking. I leaned forward, finally touching the paper he had pushed toward me. "No," I said, sliding it back. "I won't be signing anything today." Evan reached for it, panicked, but the clerk took it instead. "This document is now evidence," she said. The door to the judge's chambers opened, and this time he wasn't smiling at Evan. My wife cried. Evan pleaded. Their future evaporated in minutes. Me? I felt calm. Justice isn't loud. It's quiet, precise, surgical. Walking out of that courtroom, I didn't feel victorious, just free.